Okay, kia ora te whānau. So if I'm doing this post, that means I posted day one and I finally got over my fears with posting on YouTube, because for so long I have been saying, yeah, I'm going to start YouTube, or yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I would film, I would edit, but never press post. So that's a win for me right now, like celebrating that, being able to post on YouTube and on my social medias, because to be honest, it's not hard to be public and share a message because you want to create conversations and change and influence to uninfluence others. And it's not easy to do this. It's not easy to get in front of the camera. Like, you guys, I know people have tried, like, when you've got to do an intro for, I don't know, a group chat or whatever, it's how many retakes you take and you take and you take, and you're trying to be so natural and authentically you, but how hard it is to make a balance of that as well, and balance of how much you share and not share, because this is your life and this is really personal, but it's also creates change. So I'm proud of myself for taking the leap in something that I've always wanted to do, and no longer sitting in the goner, because I just, for too long and there's too many things that I said I'm going to do, and then I never do. And then what, when I get to 80, that I go, oh, I wish I did all those things that I was going to do. And I'm just like, no more am I going to be a goner person. No more am I going to say I'm going to do this and then not follow through, because it pisses me off, to be honest, when other people do it. So whatever I want from others, I need to reflect back into myself. So one thing is, I'm learning to practice to say whatever comes out of my mouth, I'm saying I'm going to do, I actually follow through with it. And if I'm not going to follow through, well, then I'm just going to shut my mouth, instead of, putting it out there and creating false promises for myself and for others and setting myself up to fail. So I'm proud of myself. I've finally done it. I put myself out there, and I'm excited for my journey, for whatever happens with this. And I don't even care. I do this for myself, to be honest. And then as well as my kids that get to look back at my journey. So any one view or any one like or anything, comment is just a bonus to me. I don't really care, to be honest. And I'm just enjoying the journey of discovering what to share and what not to share, and blah, 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 so on. But anyway, day 2 into the 8-week challenge, and people say, oh, you're on the high or whatever. Yeah, I'm on the high, bro, and I'm on the high to the end of the road, to the end of the 8 weeks, because I already feel great. Like, my scar is already gone, my skin is healed, I feel great mentally and physically already on day 2. Day 1, I was like sluggish, I was inflamed, mentally I was foggy, because of the bullshit I was putting in my body and the bullshit that I was telling my mind, and not reminding myself to look after myself and be with me, and remind myself of the things that I was up to, my habits and all that. But already in day 2, just the little simple habits that I've picked for right now is working, and I feel great already. And it's a reminder of why I need to keep doing this, and remind myself to keep going and going, stay strong with it, and remember my why. And I wanted to share my why of why I do this, and why I'm so persistent on making sure I'm the best version of myself. And I do it for myself. And a lot of people say, yeah, I do it for myself, but I generally do everything for myself, and that it now has an impact on for others. But if I'm not okay, then nothing else is okay. And I need to make sure that I'm physically and mentally fit, so that I can be present with others. And when I say that, I mean present with my babies when I eventually have kids, because I can't say I'm going to be a goner person and never follow through, because that's exactly what I'm teaching them to do. Or I can't teach them to always take care of others but never yourself, because that's what they're going to take on as well, And teaching them something that I just don't practice in my own life, and they're just gonna sniff through the bullshit, and they're just gonna go, ugh, see you later, don't want to hear it from you, and they're gonna do their own little buzz, because your children behaviors or habits are the results of the parents' habits, whether they like to deny it or admit it. It is what it is, and it's true. And as a child's point of view, I'm not a mother and I don't get it, but from a child's point of view, all I wanted was my mum to be so happy and to be around me and to be present. Not just be around me, but to be actually present. And without kids, I already know what that's like, to be taking care of others and then forgetting about yourself so that you're just not giving them the best quality of water, basically, and trying to fill up their cup with water, but it's shit, basically. And I want to make sure that I'm responsible for myself so that I can be an example, a real model, not a role model, but a real model to my babies of what it takes to be authentically you. For example, if I want my babies to be confident, well, homegirl's got to do it over here. If I want my babies to be beautiful and feel beautiful, well, I've got to talk to myself and have self-worth. And if I want my babies to not have generational trauma, well, I've got to deal with my trauma, and I've got to deal with the trauma that was passed down for me from other people that didn't take responsibility in my family as well. And so for me, for my health journey with 8-week challenge and habits, this is the foundation of, okay, this is what I'm up to and this is my why. And if I do it now, then it's just way easier as time gets on, because if I wait another 5 years, if I wait another year, it just gets harder and harder and harder. And I've done it before and it sucks and it gets you nowhere. For so long of my life, I was so in my head worshipping the problem, fixating it like I'm fat, or I'm lonely, or I'm not happy, instead of finding a solution or a strategy to get out of it. And I keep harping on about it, but the best strategy for me that worked was small habits, and learning to fall in love with myself. Again, because I fell out of love with myself. So yeah, so anyway, still did the same habits as yesterday, but today I added a little bit more, and I woke up early. Did I go to bed on time? Absolutely not. I went to bed at 1 a.m. The other nights before, because I've just got back from Perth, I haven't been here for that long, I've been going to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. because Perth's time is so whack, and so I'm so jet lagged. But I got up early. I got up at 5:30, got out of bed at 6 o'clock, and did all my I did my 10 push-ups. I added 10 push-ups to my morning, and had a day with my family today as well. And then tonight, what I'm going to be doing is, I used to do this as well, is create my day the night before, with the habits that I want to create, instead of just like creating it as I go. I'm like real intentional, really simple, write simple habits down in my book that I want to achieve for the day. And I'm not setting myself up to fail, and I'm not making them huge or unachievable or not reachable for myself, because I just know that, say for example, I want to run 50k tomorrow. Realistically, I'm just not going to do it, and I'm not going to bullshit myself or bullshit to others about that I'm going to do this when I'm not going to do it. And then what happens? I make myself bad and wrong because I didn't do it. So I make sure with the habits, or whatever I choose to do, whatever I say that comes out of my mouth and I want to follow through, that I'm setting myself up to be successful and follow through with it and keep my promise to myself. Because each time you keep a promise to yourself, you're building the trust back with yourself of, you got this, you can do it, because look at the evidence that you built of what you've already done. So that's what I'll be adding tonight, is my extra little tip, is getting you a little tiny book and writing the little habits that you want to do. And I don't add any time constraints to this. The only thing I do is wake up at 5:30 a.m. If I get into practice of just waking up, I'll get there. But for now, I just write really simple stuff like meditation, so I listen to sound frequencies while I sleep and when I wake up, you know, like doing my 10 push-ups, stuff like that just works for me. So this is a really good tip just to track of like what you're up to as well. But yeah, it feels good to be back into routine slowly, getting rid of old habits that just don't work with me and slowly adding ones that work in for me and my future self, which is my now, so I can be the best version of myself for me, but also for my babies and for my whānau that, you know, that is going to evolve eventually when I have kids and my partner and all that type of jazz. But I just can't wait, and I don't want to all of a sudden have a life crisis like, boof, oh, I've got to get my shit together when my kids are here, because I don't want them to be, you know, all these things that I wasn't, you know what I mean? So just keep going, keep doing you, and just keep these little habits going because they work. And it's a really good strategy and a formula that I've trialed for 2 years, and I know that works now, and I have results. I've lost weight, I've mentally cleared myself, and it's easier to come back to them now. Even though I've had a 4-week break from them, it's easier just to pop back into them now, because I'm going to start adding more and more habits really a bit more quicker, because, well, I've got the practice of it. So yeah, that's day 2. Excited for the rest of the days to create it as well, and bring you guys along the journey of whatever happens and whatever unfolds on the journey. That's all meant to be and all meant to happen for me, whatever it happens. So that's me. I'm going to stop yapping. And thank you guys for watching. It means a lot when people let me know that it's relatable and hits, or they see themselves in one little comment that I've said. So thank you guys for watching, if you're still watching at the moment, and keep going. I'm proud of you all, because this is not easy when you've been so comfortable in this and something you've always been, basically. So keep taking on the fear, keep stepping into greatness and being authentically you. Yeah, that's me.